Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another installment of Show to Be with Mike G, the show of life, the show of Mezcal, the show of creating, the show of Oaxaca, like kind of all this stuff that we're always talking about, right? In this case, we're going to talk a little bit about drawing, creative design, graphic design. I'll belabor the point that I was in Oaxaca for 3 weeks, kind of traveling solo, going all over the place. And I had heard of Asis Cortes for some time, what kind of great guy he is, how smart, El Holgorio, one of his older brands, Asis, from Durango, and this new Dishabe, which is just delicious mezcal made by his father. So here is a great chat. I'm sitting in this speakeasy room that he has. It's kind of behind a bookshelf thing in the store underneath Puro Burro. If you guys have been there, it's a really beautiful, beautiful room. And I think you get that. I think you get that feeling and that ambiance. It's very low lit candles and some water dripping. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this great chat with Asis Cortes. So Asis, almost 24 hours to the dot, we're meeting in your beautiful speakeasy, your room for mezcal. And I'm left thinking about the experience I had here with you last night, talking about the Soto, talking about Dishabe, all the brands you've done. And I feel like you've done a whole lot. So in this moment, thinking about all the things you've done for your family, for yourself, do you feel like you're building a legacy? Do you ever think about what you've achieved in these past, I think it's 12, 15 years? Do you reflect?
Not yet. Not yet. I think every time I sit down and reflect about the moment that we had and the challenges that we had.
Yeah.
And I feel that there is so much that we have to do, that we need to work to be sure that we can conserve what has been in our family, in our culture, in our story. And as more I see how this is being diluted or losing, more strong is my compromise. Not just with everybody who's been before me, but with myself and with my dad. If I doing something today, it is because my dad has been transmitting that to me. And my reflections are about what else I have to do and how I can do that with respect and with integrity.
One of the things, when you have so many things you're passionate about, you have these amazing brands. You know, some will be into the States sooner than others. But do you sleep okay at night? Or do the thoughts race through your mind about all of this passion, all the things you need to do for your family?
Most of the time, I slept like a baby. Of course, there is so many challenges, and of course, there is a lot that are being involved and that I am. But I think when we do everything right, and it's more important when I have like all the support from my dad, my family, my friends, and everybody around me, I understand that I'm not doing this by myself.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm doing with everybody around me. And we all work together with the same energy, with the same passion. And more important, we all are enjoying this journey. And yes, every time I'm come to the bed, I'm happy for what I did and excited about what is coming the next day.
There's so much that keeps happening and that keeps growing for you. You know, looking at some of the interviews that you've done and thinking about your family in Mazatlan, you're a creative guy. I know you don't call yourself an artist, but that's okay. But was it ever, not disappointment, but did your dad ever want you to distill and become a mescalero too? Because you've went a different direction. Was it ever expected that you would work as a mescalero as well?
I remember when I was around 14 years old. I remember this moment when he came to me and direct to me, told me, I want you to study. I want you to work hard in something that can make your life easier. Because being a mezcalero is very hard. Making mezcal is not easy at all. It's a lot of work. You need to go under the sun on the fields. You have to do a lot of efforts. And no one values that. And nobody gives us that value. Nobody understands.
Wow.
Nobody recognizes the hard work that we do. So don't do mezcal. And I remember that moment. And I remember that when I was studying graphic design, I was really studying graphic design with the passion and the love to this beautiful career that I didn't really think in mezcal at all back in those days. But the same graphic design and the same passion about it bring me back to mezcal. And as I was coming back to mezcal and working together with my family, I can see a little bit of that effort and that work to bring back that value to my family and my dad. I can see that he is happy today that he can expect me to be there one day, very soon, I hope, working with him. And I manifest that to him already a couple times, that I want to work next to him and really looking for that moment. I'm really working hard and really have that time to be there and do what he's been doing. Yes.
It's a really striking thing. I was having a conversation as I've been in Oaxaca about a week now. And sometimes you don't realize, as we drink mezcal, we don't realize what goes into getting those plants out of the ground. And the fact your father comes to you and says, Asis, this isn't easy. I want you to have an easier life. I mean, that's actually really, really moving. So when he told you to study, were you studying in Oaxaca? Did you study in the States for graphic design? Where did you get your education?
I studied here in Oaxaca. I studied here in Oaxaca City. And actually, when I came to the university here in the city, it was something very new for me, coming from a town, Mazatlan, where I grew up and where we have a totally different culture. So I came not just to study graphic design, but to understand another different society, for say that. So one of the biggest challenges for me was to understand the language and how the society moves outside Mazatlan.
The pace is very different. The speed of life faster.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love to go to Mazatlan. Every time I go to Matatlan, I just feel peace, air. I just feel that I'm going back to connect with the nature, with the land, with the family. And being in the city is a totally different life. And yes, one of my goals is back to the town and be there as more I can.
I mean, it's like a vacation.
It is.
What do you, because it feels to me that you work so much on so many things. Do you have a balance where you can take time off, things that help you relax?
Yes, absolutely. I don't really feel that I work so hard. I feel that I am involved with many things that I love to do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that everything that I'm doing, I enjoy it. I enjoy it, all that. I love to share mezcal.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. I love to sit with somebody who respect, you understand, and wants to have a glass of mezcal with me. That's something that I really love. And I learned that from my dad. If somebody wants to go visit my dad, he's going to spend that day, to sit, to share, to enjoy the life. And I think that everything that I'm doing is something that I really like to do. So I feel that I have, or I find that balance between everything that I'm doing. I like to paint, I like to draw, and I do that every time I can. I didn't stop to do that. And of course, I like travel. And what I'm doing the most is travel. So I have balance there.
From the brand, you've created so many brands, with beautiful aesthetic, beautiful artwork. And I wonder, from an artistic perspective, what motivates you? What inspires you? Music, TV, people?
I think it's been a whole process. And in this whole process, I've been discovering many aspects and elements that I didn't have clear before. One of those things that I really enjoy that I discover is how my other passion, that is art and graphic design, complement my other bigger passion, that is mezcal. And when I sit and create a brand, I'm not creating a brand. I'm not thinking in a product. I'm thinking in everything that is behind and how I will communicate that, how I will represent that. By having my skills in graphic design, one of the things that I did when I finished the university, my topic was how graphic design as a tool in the pedagogy can be. And I think that's something that really helped me a lot with what I've been doing, because I can see graphic design as a tool to can educate, to can not just communicate, but also educate. And thinking in that is the way that I've been working in my graphics.
I believe, I was reading that you were painting at a very young age, that you maybe had this kind of creative spirit very, very early on. Was that something that the family recognized and said, because, dad's telling you, mezcal is very difficult. You want an easier life. I mean it. But did they encourage you to be more artistic when you were younger?
Not really. Growing up in a town where I grew up, I think that back in those days, being an artist was not an option. And yes, you're right. I've been painting since I remember. And when I told my parents actually I want to be an artist, my dad says, "No, like, why you an artist, right? Like, what are you gonna do with that?" And then he recommended me to be an engineer.
Is that right?
Yeah. And actually, I kind of like start to looking for that, but for some reasons, I found a paper in the street that has this graphic design, licenciado en diseño gráfico. So when I read the word licenciado, and I know that this was about art a little bit, I was like, okay, I will be a licenciado.
It's official, right?
It's official.
Yeah.
And I went with that, and I really didn't know exactly what a graphic designer would be, but I read that some of the topics there was about art, study of art, techniques of illustration, and it was something related. So I was like, yeah, this is something that is related to what I want to do. So I did it, and as I came into these classes, I start to love it every day. I really like it. I really enjoy it. And it was one of my first moments in life that I discovered something that I really like, that I really love. Yep.
No, I think that connecting with the plants, connecting with the earth, connecting with our creative insight, these are very moving moments in our lives. How did you know you were ready to start a brand? Because, I'm looking at this beautiful back bar. There are no less than 5 brands that you've created and that you've worked with. But did you know you were ready? You were ready to take beautiful mezcal and put it in a bottle, create a label. Was that something that came easily to you?
No, not really. No, as I said, nothing that I've been involved with, it's been making only by myself. Everything that it's been made with our family, with myself, with everybody around, I think it's been the union of this collective. Like, I believe in there is a lot of more that we can do when we come together with different talents. And my talent in graphic design and what I do, yes, it's something that I had very sure where I can really, how I can foresee something, how I can help, how I can give something that benefits the project. So when I was in the university, the first logo for a brand was a mezcal. The first logo that I did was for a mezcal.
Someone else's brand?
No, it was our family's mezcal.
Oh,
Agave
okay.
de Cortes was the first logo that I did as a homework. And I dedicate my time in the school to create this logo and then this branding about this brand that is going to represent all the story and everything that we never had. But in my mind, it was also that opportunity to do something that can really reflect and represent the family. So I really worked hard in that. I didn't feel ready. I didn't feel ready, but I was excited. And I was determined to do something.
How old
that
were
can
you
be
when
benefit.
you started working on that logo?
I was 20 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was 20 years old, and that brand actually was real. It was not just a homework. It came real, and it was launched in the market back in 2008. So I never feel ready, and I never know what exactly is going to happen. There was not a plan. I think that everything that happens in the beginning was not planned, really.
Right. Yeah.
But it was motivated by the necessity that we had and the energy that we had.
Were you ever afraid? One of the things that I was talking about this as well the other day. When we get older, we make bigger decisions. We make scarier decisions, things that can be quite difficult for us. Was fear ever a part of this process for you? Were you afraid that it would fail or that it wouldn't look good, that the design wouldn't be good enough?
Not all the time, but many times.
Yeah.
Of course, I think that's part of growing up.
Yeah.
And I think that has been in very important times in my life. Yes, be afraid is not bad. And I think that also can help us to also put the foot on the floor.
That's right, yeah.
And recognize what we are doing, if something that we are doing is good or is bad. But at the end of the day, I see that as a part of that push in my back to really do something better.
Do you have... I'm really, I make music a lot, design brands and stuff to some extent. There are very few people that I'll show it to and respect their opinion. Do you have someone who you confide in, who makes you feel like the design was correct, that the idea was good? Maybe your wife, your family?
Yes. I believe that my wife, my parents, my friends are being big supporters of what I'm doing. But at the same time, it's funny that you ask that, because lately, and I mean, not really lately, but most of the time my wife is being always pushing and sometimes saying to me like, I don't really like that. I don't really understand what you did. And sometimes I show her that I'm strong with my work and what I did and what I believe, to say, okay, it's okay if you don't like it, but I'm happy with the result, because it's been a lot of work.
Yeah.
And the result is not just something improvised. You see that?
Yeah.
So at the end, if works, works. If not, it's okay. But
Are you, so you have final cut, is what they say.
yes, once I feel that I'm ready with something that I create, I feel confident with that. So no matters if somebody says that I don't like it or I love it, I don't really like to move with that. I want to be secure that I really like it.
You have to. You get the artistic vision, right?
Yeah, I probably have to accept that today.
Well, you get the design here in this room. When you were kind of crafting this beautiful room to drink mezcales and destilados, did you know what you wanted this to feel like in this room?
It's a process.
Yeah.
As I say, everything that we've been done is a process. And in this room, for example, it's been together with friends and my wife. And I will never say that it's only me. And that will be totally false. It's been always with a lot of friends and a lot of people around me who's always supporting and adding, so yeah, everything that we've been done again is thanks to this collective and to this bunch of people that we had the same passion, that we share the same energy, and that we want to transmit and to share something special.
You said something to me last night, which I thought was very, very good. I was trying to find a pic. The first time I've been to Oaxaca was in 2014, and I know we met each other that night at Mezcal. But I was looking for a picture. I didn't have one, but I was looking for one. And shame on me for being on my phone, right? And you said, well, it looks like we've lost Mike. You remember? And so, one of the things is technology takes us out of the moment a lot. And you said, no photos in this space, which I completely appreciate. Why that decision here when drinking mezcal?
You just say it. We just need to be connected.
Yeah.
We just need to give that respect to a spirit that took a really long time to be in the glass. Sometimes we don't think about it. We talk about it many times. Always talking about how long the agave take, how long the process to produce one batch takes, how hard was the logistic to move that mezcal from one palenque to a bottling place,
Right.
then bottle it, and then bring it to a table or to your hands. But not all the time really shared that respect in time. And I think this is like the first thing when we drink mezcal in this room. I want everybody to connect, to forget everything that is outside, and to understand for only 1 hour and a half what is in every glass that we share.
No, you're very in the moment. I think that's something we lose with each other sometimes because we're looking at text messages and all of this. And I was so happy that you said that because you were right. I was out of the moment trying to find a picture of you that I didn't even have, you know? And so, last night we sipped through many incredible destilados, mezcales, sotoles, but something that felt like you were returning to home. It was so delicious. It was so beautiful. And I'll buy bottles, but I had to buy a bottle of the Tepestate. And we're talking about the Tishbe. And tell me how you came to that decision to launch a new brand and bring things back home.
That's not an easy answer. That was not like just a decision that we had in one moment.
Mm-hmm.
This is the result of many years of work and many years of you understand our value, that you understand the market, that you understand our story, and more important, to understand what we want to do, where we want to see mezcal, what we want to drink in the future.
Sure.
So, as you say, I've been involved in other projects, but I think everything is just it's like building the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Every project complements the other. And it's been a process to keep doing education, being aware of what mezcal is, and be sure that everybody understand that the most important part of the spirit of the mezcal is the people behind it, is the village, the culture, the land, the Mother Earth, the agaves. And this is this result of many years working in projects that are bringing us to that origin. Because this is nothing new. It has nothing new. It's be strong with the philosophy to produce something with that respect that was there already before.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say respect, it's a very important word because respect is about everything. Respect to the Mother Earth, the environment, the agaves, the time, the process, the tradition, the culture, the knowledge, the family behind us. And respect to every single person's life. If I share something that has that, I want you to connect with that and make you smile, make you happy.
Yeah.
And I learned that by meeting many mezcaleros. When one mezcalero who produces something with his heart give you a glass of mezcal, he can be super quiet. But as soon as he see a smile in your face, he smile. And then for him, he's doing or he's finishing that cycle and that reason to produce mezcal. He's happy that what he produced and he shares makes you happy.
It's amazing. I think about that. Been doing a lot of traveling here in town. I'll be here another few weeks, and I can't help but think I'm in the States. I'm a white guy. I try not to rile people up too much, but I am concerned sometimes when I see 42% Espadín at $40 for Matatlan. And there's more and more of this kind of lifestyle mezcal being released. Are you worried about what those kinds of ultimately cheap mezcales, what kind of impact they will have on all of great mezcal?
Yes, I was, and no anymore.
Oh, really?
I want to say that because, yes, of course, everybody should be worried. But instead to be worried, I think we have to be busy. I think we need to be occupied by doing everything right, by doing everything with that respect that I've been telling you. We can be worried and we can talk about it, but that is never gonna fix what is already happening. And at the end of the day, when we have respect, I understand that we need to respect every project because every project has an energy. And even some of those projects probably are not going with our project, our goal to preserve a tradition, a culture, a spirit. We have to respect and we have to be focused in what we do. And by doing that, I want to be sure that in the future, there is going to be a difference that the consumer can understand and can decide.
You obviously have a deep compassion for the land because you're from the land. Your families have been making mezcal for a long time. But does it ever anger you or upset you when you know people come in from outside, whether it's Mexico City, whether it's the States, other countries, and they just want to take something from Oaxaca? Does that anger you?
Not at all.
No.
We have to understand that we are humans beings. As a child, grew up in a town, a Zapotec town. I went to the middle school in the city. I didn't understand at the beginning why the kids from the city was seeing the kids from the villages as inferiors because we was indigenous. And since then, I start to understand and accept that it's not about identity. It's not about where we're from, where you come from. It's about being human and be connected with the people that has your energy, that has your same philosophy. And being around that, I think is more bigger that try to be angry with somebody else.
Wow.
Of course, we had moments together with my dad being angry about somebody who stole our agaves because that's been happening. And we don't know who they are. And I hope I will never know who they are. Because we don't need that in our lives. We just need to be focused to build and to do something that has passion, that has our heart, and has respect. And Dishbe is basically that. Dishbe is a very strong word in Zapotec. And I cannot call our mezcal Dishbe is if we don't have all around what Dishbe means. Dishbe is a ritual. It is a formal and serious moment when we come together to express our gratitude from our heart, but with respect. And if every time that I raise a mezcal or a glass of mezcal and say Dishbe, I feel that, little by little I forget the other things.
Wow. I think about reflection a lot as I get older. A couple of marriages in, and a distillery and all of this stuff. But do you imagine yourself retiring? Stopping all of this, just being in the campo, relaxing. Some year, not today, but sometime in the future.
I think yes. I think the way that I'm seeing myself retired has been making mezcal.
Oh, okay.
I know it's a hard work, and of course it's not like being retired. I'm just saying that, but I see myself being on the fields and being on the palenque. Doing that is gonna bring me back close to my heart, close to my family, and closer to my culture. And the day that I will do that, I will be just completely retired, for saying something.
Yeah. I feel that way too. Sometimes I think about, when I get a bit older, just having a palenque somewhere in Texas, make the stuff I want to make and sit out on the porch and drink it as I get older,
Yeah, drinking the share.
That's right. Of course, you must. You have to share.
You have to share.
Do you have any children?
Not yet. Not yet.
Something that you want in your life?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it then become a legacy that you've made for your family that you can extend and give to your children?
Not really thinking in that. I think it's more natural because I come from a family that reflects tradition and generations.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, thinking sons of the others, it's natural. It just didn't happen, but it doesn't mean that I don't want it.
Yeah. Well, not yet, right?
Not yet. But very soon, I hope.
Everyone's getting pregnant around me, so I'll give you this good luck and imbibe you with that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we'll see how it works. So we got a few questions left for you. Mezcal's grown so much, and you've done so much in Oaxaca to establish more brands. You've got other Mezcalogía, but I know that was in your past and all of that. Do you love? How do you feel about accepting visitors into your town? Because there's people coming in all the time. Is it a big part of how you can share your message?
Yeah, as I said, I love people. I part of that actually. I've been working in the last probably 8 years together with friends and brothers to bring people to villages, to visit distilleries or palenques, how we call it here, to introduce them into the culture, to show them the city of Oaxaca. I've been part of that, and I love that. Because every time that I've been doing that is with that integrity, and I've been seeing both sides. I've been seeing the families that are being receiving the people, being happy because of the quality of the people. And I've been seeing on the other side these people who is being with me, that really recognize and appreciate and loves and show respect to everywhere we went. So far in my experience, and I hope this is gonna be always, everybody who is around me has that kind of quality of person, and that's what I love. And of course, we cannot control nothing else. But as I say before, we can control our decisions and everything that is around.
No, of course.
And if we move with that respect and that love, I'm sure that is going to be around.
Do you, because I get this, I have two questions up for you, but I get this very big feeling of peace and respect and concern for nature and the things around you, do you meditate? Do you write? How do you get this, what I consider an internal peace?
I've been listening that more and more.
Yeah.
And part of that, I guess, is just part of the personality, part of my dad personality, part of my grandfather personality. I love that from my grandfather. My grandfather is a person who I respect a lot and who is very quiet and who has this temper. And when he says something, it's going to be strong. And I love that and I admire that. And I don't really meditate. I don't really do that. But every time I travel, every time I go somewhere, I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
And I love to be connected with those moments. And I think that helps. That helps a lot. Just as the example of last night, being connected with that moment, it's beautiful. Or probably that's meditation, right?
Very, very, very possible.
Probably it is. But I love to have those moments. And I think I have those moments very frequently.
That's great. So, all right, you tell me, you like films or music more? Because it'll...
Films. I'm very visual.
Perfect. Me too. Me too. Okay. So, this is my last question for you. And knowing that you're a creative type and that you have a good sense of aesthetic and there are things that have obviously influenced you aesthetically and visually. So, all right, let's say you're here in this beautiful room and we're going to we're sipping jabali. So you're sipping jabali. You could sip and have a conversation with any actor or any actress, alive or deceased. Who might you like to be in this room with and have a conversation? I wish I could take a picture of the face.
It has to be a contemporary actor?
Or in the past. Living or deceased, yeah. Anyone.
Okay. My mind just went to an artist, and it went to Van Gogh.
Oh, okay.
That was the first thing that I had in my mind.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
I think those would be some very interesting conversations, to say the least.
Yeah.
But maybe he couldn't hear you because you didn't have the ear. So
Exactly. We will just ring.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, Asis, it's really been a pleasure to get to spend and sit through that tasting last night. It was just a lovely experience and have some food here and stuff. But coming back tonight, having this room to ourselves, hearing the water kind of drip, just incredible. Thank you so much for taking the time out. I hope to see you soon and chat soon, yeah?
Of course. I will be here always for you, man.
All right. Cheers, man.
Disbe.
Well, there we have it. Asis Cortes. You know, I'm trying to articulate what I learned from being in Oaxaca for 3 weeks, but beyond kind of tuning out of social media to some extent, not answering emails, all that stuff, it was really just moments. You had these moments with mescaleros where they tried some of the things I've made. I tried plenty of things that they made. But there's something very special about this chat with Asis in the sense that he is nothing like what you would expect. He's not territorial. He's open. He's always looking for opportunities to bring people together. He's shared so much with the industry and continues to take people out. I know there was just a trip to Durango a few weeks ago. I mean, he's a wealth of knowledge, but beyond that, he's about sharing. He's about inclusivity. And in some of the spots I went, you find that's not really a common theme among mescaleros, you know. There's a little bit of territorialism and all of that, but he's a really, really good guy, and we have all had his products, and I certainly can't wait to see Dishube in the States. And yeah, feel free to chime in the comments about how I'm pronouncing that word. That's okay. I don't care. But Asis, thanks so much for taking the time to sit down and chat with me. And thanks everybody for listening to Show to V with Mike G. Got some more songs on the way. I'm turning a little less emo these days, so if you're going to go see Cursive on one of their number of Texas dates, please let me know. But if not, please keep dancing.